This is the Tier 10 Italian auto-reloading tank destroyer, the Minotauro, a vehicle I'm just getting happier and happier I have ground on my free-to-play account, as Wargaming just keeps buffing the vehicle. In 10.3, it might not have gotten, a DPM buff or a massive armor buff, but what the Mino did get was a traverse speed buff. Now, for anybody that has driven this tank, they know that the major weakness of this vehicle is mediums and really anything that can move get around you. And the moment they do, your turret doesn't turn fast enough and you are basically dead. The Mino got about 4 degrees of traverse added to the vehicle in the latest update of the game. Now that is massive, not only because it allows you to turn your turret faster with the hull, but as well because the vehicle only went at around 29 degrees a second, and now it goes at around 34 degrees a second. So it's actually quite a substantial buff. Anybody that hasn't played the Mino since the changes, I would highly recommend to try it out because it feels really nice. The Mino already has a decent power to weight. It can accelerate up to its top speed, albeit not the fastest top speed of like 34, but it can still get up there actually fairly fast. And now that the vehicle can turn, a lot of the weaknesses of the tank are no longer as bad. And now that the vehicle can just sit hull down without having to worry about people flanking it, it's so nice. I've always kind of liked the Mino playstyle. I do still believe that Wargaming should nerf the lower plate a bit. It's a little cringe that some vehicles just can't pen the lower plate if they're not running calibrated. But here we are. First game up against us, what do we have? AMX 50B, IS-4, and an IS-7, plus a Mino and an E4. Holy moly, that is a very strong lineup. Now, we're going to make our way towards mid-hill, as that's what I normally like to do in any type of hull-down vehicle. The one nice thing about having gun depression is you can always use it. If you're in a tank like an Object 260 on this map, you're in a pretty poor position. You're not going to be able to work hull down all too well. But in a tank like the Mino, with incredible hull-down armor, we can just sit on one of these ridges and hopefully get some nice bonks out. We got the 62A, who has not spotted us, which is really good. We got our whole team camping in the back, so we're going to roll around this corner. We're going to see if I can get a bonking. There you go. Look at that. 530 damage shot into the enemy 62A. I mean, that's insane. The fact that this vehicle can just roll players for that much. So at this point, we're going to reload, and we're going to aim it on the turret of the E4. Bonk. Okay, well, that made very little sense, but since the E4 bounced us, we're going to take advantage of this time. We're going to get 1 shell into his lower plate and 2 shells into his lower plate. Now, you might be asking, well, Droodles, why'd you dump your clip into his vehicle? Well, there's a couple reasons. First of all, I obviously want this E4 to get punished for driving out in the open, which he did. I mean, sure, he shot me, but yeah, was it worth it for him? No, he basically killed himself. But the second reason is because you don't really have that much of a downside to dump your clip. I mean, sure, you do have a long reload, but as long as you're not in a situation where you need that DPM at hand in the exact moment, you can just wait for your clip to reload. You can see just in the amount of time I've needed to reposition my vehicle, I've already gotten 2 shells loaded. So we're just going to wait another 7 seconds, we'll have our final shell, and then we're going to push on over and get some shots into the Mino. So let's reload, and just like that, we now have our 3 shells. And we've already messed up one of the shells. Well, not we, but you know what I mean. There you go. We got 1 pen into the enemy Mino. Unfortunately, now there's a 50B on us, but that's all good. We still have half of our health left, and we're pretty hull down here. But we do have to be quite cautious. I'm seeing what's happening in this game, and I'm not exactly liking it. We've got the IS-7 off to the side. Got the IS-4 over here, which I'm going to aim in on. Hopefully we can get... I'm hoping that the 50B also doesn't shoot me, but we're going to reload, and bonk, there you go, 1 nice shell into the IS-4, and 2 nice shells into the IS-4. Just like that, we're up to 2,700 damage, and as we can see, the enemy IS-4 has been kibonkered out of existence. It looks like the YAG just crapped on that 50B, but maybe not, I don't really know. We're just going to drive up this hill and get some damage into the 50B. As long as he doesn't clip me, we're good. We're going to get 1 HE into his vehicle for 788 damage. Yes, you heard that right, 788. Then we're going to finish off the 50B with a 492 damage roll. Again, we could have saved our shells, but at the same time, we've already dealt 4,000 damage, and I don't really think it was necessary to save our shells. This is where the Mino is always a questionative playstyle. Do you want to reload? Do you want to save your shots? We did pretty good this game, and we're still going to get a finishing shell into the IS-7. So I think we did pretty good. 4,100 damage, we got 3 kills, and we were able to do our jobs. The way I classify if you should dump your clip or not is essentially whether you think you're in a threatening position and whether it will benefit your team. For example, dumping that E4 got him angry. He drove over the ridge, and he lost all of his health and died for it. That was a positive trade. Dumping the 50B, we were able to take 788 with an HE, and then an additional 490 to kill him. Was it worth it? Yes. Because sure, I might have been able to get an additional shell into the IS-7, but we still picked up a kill, which is more XP, and it didn't hurt our team in any way. The only time you want to actually save your shells in the Minotauro is when you have a feeling you're going to be rushed. If that's the case, then always save your shells. But if you don't find yourself in a moment of threat, and you know that your team's not going to farm that much while you're reloading, then just dump, because it doesn't hurt. So that's kind of how I explain the playstyle of this vehicle. And as you saw, it worked out pretty well for us in the first game. So here we are, battle number 2. Up against us, we have a Yag. We have not too much, actually, for heavies. They only have one heavy. So I'm going to make my way over towards medium side. Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see if our 2 TDs spot anything over here. If they do, I'll help them out. But I'm pretty confident that, yeah, I'm pretty confident we're going to be running into the mediums more than the heavies. So we're going to cut low. This is quite easy to do, and I'm a little cautious when doing this, you know, but I think we should be fine. Although, you know what, they do have a Yag Tiger and a Grill and the IS-4 over here. So, yeah, let's make a quick detour. Maybe we can get some shots in. We got the Yag off to our side. We do get spotted by the Yag, but nothing that I think I have to worry about. Let's aim it on the Yag Tiger. There you go. A nice 569 damage shot into his vehicle. This is where, again, in the Mino, you have the question, do you dump your shells or do you reload? We're going to dump because I don't want to get penned by a tank that has 4,000 DPM. So at this point, we're still fine. I mean, we got our Conway, we got the rest of our team over here. And again, by the time we get over to this IS-4, we should have our shells reloaded once again. So we're just going to wait here. We got 8 more seconds left. 7, 6, 5. Still quite a long reload, but it's not the end of the world. We do have the Grill right in front of us, who we're going to try and get some shells into. There you go. One nice shot. And let's go for an HE. Bonk. There you go. Nice 474 shot. I'm unfortunately not able to get the last shell into that Grill, but at the same time, he's now one shot, which is obviously quite important. Our Yag actually gets a pretty nice shell into the enemy IS-4, and so does my other teammate, bringing this guy down to a pretty low chunk of health. We get one nice shell into the IS-4. I'm not going to dump my clip, because I don't know if that Grill's going to poke me or not. And this is where saving your shells is obviously pretty smart. There's the Grill. Because he's over there, we can just poke this IS-4 at this point. And nice, there you go. We do bleed a bit of health for it, but that's fine, because the Grill's dead, and all that's left is the Yag Panzer. So we've dealt 2,800 damage in this game so far. We know that the enemy Yag is all the way in the back spawn, or at least that's where he was. Don't know if we're going to be able to get any damage into him, but I'm hoping we should be able to. Alright, let's cut over here pretty quietly. I'm going to try and cut underneath the building so we don't spot him, so the rest of our team doesn't farm him while we're getting here. There you go, beautiful. Alright, the Yag is right in front of us. Now, we are not in the range of one shot for his tank, so because of that, I don't have to worry about him killing me at all. Yep, 919 roll, but it doesn't mean anything. We get 1, we get 2, and 3 shells into the enemy Yag. And just like that, we went from 2,800 damage to 4,500. Yes, you heard that right. 4,500. The Mino is an incredible tank. And now that the traverse speed was buffed, the vehicle is just great. I mean, this vehicle has gone full circle in Blitz. It went from being really mediocre at the beginning of its existence to now being fantastic. And look at that. I mean, again, 4,500 damage for literally the easiest kills ever. The vehicle is really, really good, and I would highly recommend anybody that likes high alpha, strong frontline vehicles to get the Mino. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.